Welcome to Align Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda and I'll be guiding our practice today. And my question for you as we begin today is this: how much control do you try to assert over your life? This summer, my husband and I had the opportunity to go on a yacht trip with friends. We were on a 55-foot yacht, 3 levels, 3 bedrooms downstairs. We traveled across the Potomac Bay, or the Chesapeake Bay, into the Potomac River up to Washington, D.C. As big as that yacht was to me, the biggest boat I've ever been on outside of a cruise ship, it was tiny in the bay and the river. And the waters were calm. There were no white caps. The waves were no more than 1.5 feet. And yet, the boat rocked. There were times where we had to hold on to the railings. There were times where things started sliding off the countertops. I invite you today to remember the words of Paul. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. God is big. Our God is all-knowing. He is all-powerful. He ordains our days. He knows the path in front of us. We are small, and I invite you to accept that today. No day is smooth sailing. Sometimes we're in the thick of major storms. Sometimes it's just minor annoyances and inconveniences. But whatever it is, we rarely can control it. I invite you today to give up that tendency to control and to trust the God that knows and loves you as He guides you throughout your day. Today's practice is focused on hip strength. So as we strengthen our hips, we can think about moving through our day with strength and confidence, no matter what annoyances, inconveniences, or storms come our way. I invite you to start by laying down on your back. So get comfortable. Knees can be bent or straight, doesn't matter. I'd like you to really feel the connection of your back to the mat. So if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and extend your legs down, but if not, another option for you would be that butterfly with the feet together. Wherever you are, one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. If not, just soften your eyes and start to find your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel the breath moving into the lungs. Maybe you can feel the breath in the back as well as the front, pressing down into the mat with that inhale. And feel the lung moving, feel the breath moving into the rib cage so that the ribs are expanding. How far do those ribs open? How easily do those ribs open with breath? Maybe you can feel that breath moving all the way down into the diaphragm muscle of the belly. So just really inflating with that inhale and deflating with that exhale. 2 more breaths here. The hands come down to your side, palms up, and for a moment, just scan the body, noticing the way that you have settled onto the mat. The rotation of the feet, the feel of the mat underneath the calves, the legs, the hips. Noticing the curves of the spine at the lower back, middle back, upper back. Find your breath. One more breath here. Bend your knees, feet to the mat. Take a block if you have one and bring it in between your legs, just underneath the knee. So you are lightly holding onto the block, stable, but you're not squeezing. Hands to your hip points, if you're comfortable with that. Go ahead and just gently draw the hip points up towards the knees. And then exhale and let the back melt into the mat. So let's do that twice more. Just inhale, come up. Exhale, release. And one more time. Again, just noticing range of motion, noticing ease or dis-ease of movement. Come back to neutral, hands down at your side. Again, just check in. Notice maybe already you can notice a change in the curves of the spine. Maybe not. Press through the heels and the shoulder blades. Tuck the tailbone. And then, beginning to work on strength, contract the glutes and roll up the spine into your bridge. And exhale down. And again, tighten up the glutes, come all the way up. Feel the work in the hamstrings and the glutes. Maybe feel the stretch in the front of the hips and the psoas. Exhale down. One more time like this. Next time we come up, we're going to stay up. So again, contract the glutes. Come up vertebra by vertebra in the spine if you can. Stay up. Press into that left foot and extend that right leg. Flex the foot. Imagine that you're pushing away from the body. Feel the work in that stabilizing leg in the hamstrings and the glutes. Take one more breath here. One more inhale. Bring that other foot down. Slowly come down to the mat. Take a breath. Let everything settle. Notice what you notice in the back and the hips. So same thing on the other side. Press into the heels and the shoulder blades. Engage the hamstrings and the glutes as you rise. Press into that left foot. Let the right leg extend. So again, right foot, left leg extend. Opposite of last time. So the heel is pressing away from the body. Again, you're finding breath, really working on this stabilizing leg and the hamstrings and the glutes. One more inhale and exhale. One more inhale. And slowly bring that foot down and come down to the mat. Again, take a breath here. Just notice what you notice. How are the hips and back resting on the mat now? So let's move the block. Roll over onto your side. So if you want to, you can use the block to support your head. Otherwise, you can support your head with your arms, whatever works. Stack your knees, one right on top of the other, feet right on top of the other. Take your hand to the outside of your hip and gently just lift that top knee up. Feel the gluteus minimus, gluteus medius contract and release. So as we do this, can you lead from the hip rather than from the knee? So rather than starting from the knee, start with that contraction, stabilization of the hip, and then lift. and release. Bring that arm forward for support. We did that twice. Let's do that 6 more times. So you're just going to inhale up, exhale down. Connect it to your breath. Notice where you feel the work. What's happening with the abdominals? Are you completely relaxed? Maybe you can engage the abdominals a little bit for support. Keep it slow, keep it controlled, and try not to rest at the top or the bottom. 2 more times. As you're ready, release. Come up and sit up. Bring that top leg over the bottom one. So my left leg is over my right. I'm going to take that left thumb into that hip crease, draw that hip back, bring the other arm around the leg, find a gentle twist, looking for a hip stretch. So I'm now stretching the muscles that we were just using. And take one more breath here. Repeat the sequence on the other side. So lie down on your side, bring a block along for the ride if you want to use it to support your head. Stack those knees, stack the feet. And let's just start with the hand to the hip just to kind of help engage these muscles as we start the movement. You can feel them before that leg even lifts. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release. So again, 8 of them. Noticing each time the response of the body to the work. Noticing the work even as you come down. So there's a lot of strength as you have to lift that leg, but it also requires strength to control the descent. As you're ready, you can bring that top hand down in front of you for support. Four more times. Guide it with your breath. Lead with the breath and then the muscles. I kind of lost count. I think I have one more. Go with 8 or whatever. And as you're ready, release. Again, come up to a sitting position. You're going to bring that top leg across the bottom leg. You can extend that bottom leg instead of bending it if that's better for you. Go ahead and take that right thumb into the hip crease. Again, draw that hip down. Bring the other arm across the leg so the knee's coming towards your shoulder. Find your twist here and see if you can find your stretch. So 2 more breaths here with each exhale. Stretch through that hip and just release it. As you're ready, release. Bring any props that you have towards the front of your mat. Meet me in table. Hands spread wide, wrists underneath shoulders, a little bubble of air in the palm of the hand. Knees underneath hips, feet pressing into the mat. Engage the abdominals, round up, let the head come down. Tilt the hips forward, open up through the chest. Just warming up the back. 3 more times here, cat to cow. How easily does the back move? Does this feel fluid or clunky? One more time. Meet me in table. Curl the toes under, draw the knees up and into the rib cage. Let the hips come back. Let's just stay here for a moment. Pressing a little bit forward with those hands, pulling a little back with the feet. Hips reaching to where the ceiling meets the wall, but the knees still bent, rib cage touching thighs. Shake your head out, no and yes. Begin to pedal through the feet. What's going on in the feet? Ankles, calves, hamstrings today. Deep breath in, heels rise. Exhale, heels come down towards the mat. One more time. On that next inhale, let the right leg rise high. Heel to hip, knee to sky. Open up. Let the shoulders stay square to the mat. And imagine that top foot pressing to the wall behind you. Come into that 3-leg dog, foot to the sky, gaze forward, bring the foot all the way through. Let that back knee tap down and up. So just back and forth here a few times. And as you're ready, let that foot come down to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. Toe heel, let the foot come out to the side. Hands to the center of the mat. Just begin to drop that back hip. So start to find the stretch in that back hip. Drawing it slightly forward, lifting that hip point slightly up. And begin to play with this front leg. Consider pressing through the base of the big toe and the heel, pressing the leg into the arm into the leg, so that we're really activating the muscles of the front leg, stretching the psoas of the back leg. Stay here for one more breath. As you're ready, gently toe heel back to the center. Raise the back leg. Bring the back foot halfway up. Maybe using blocks on either side of that front foot, yogi's choice. But begin to rock back and forth on your feet. Roll through the feet. And then as you're ready, press the feet down into the mat. Feet are still hip width apart. Square the shoulders to the mat. Find stretch in the hamstrings, the back of the thighs as the top of the head reaches down. Shake the head out, no and yes. Stay here for one more breath in your pyramid. And pushing through that front foot, bring the back foot forward. Find forward fold, bending knees, rib cage to thighs. Hold onto those elbows as the top of the head comes down to the mat, and maybe gently move the upper body. And then let the body come forward, begin to play with the extension of the legs. How much do you want to straighten out the legs? Keep the release in the back. Hamstring stretch is secondary. Hands to the mat. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhaling, come down. Push through the feet, come all the way up, mountain pose, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Find your breath here. Begin to find the strength in the hips here in mountain. So just notice what happens if you just kind of relax everything in the hip area. And then what happens if you press and stabilize from the gluteus medius minimus, these outside muscles, right? And imagine that the inner thighs are drawing up, in, and towards each other. So as you draw all those muscles together, the hips stabilize the body. Notice the difference, one breath here. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale, down. One leg back and then the other. Meet me in plank. From plank, I invite you to come down to the mat. Forearms wide at the mat. This is the first time we've been here today, so float the rib cage, bring the chest through, come up into an easy sphinx, exhale out of it. 2 more times here. As you're ready, press into those forearms, rise up, stay in Sphinx. Let the shoulder blades glide down the back. Maybe you can press through the tops of the feet as you engage the quadriceps, drawing the knees towards the hips. And again, think about those hip points pulling a little bit forward and up. Exhaling, come down, hands to rib cage, come to table. And then curling the toes under. Bring the knees to the rib cage, hips rise, and press into downward facing dog. Stay here for a breath. On the next inhale, left leg rises high, heel to hip, knee to sky, open up. And find that stretch as you imagine that top foot pressing against that wall behind it. Shoulders square to the mat. And then bring that leg up, 3-leg dog, gaze forward, float the foot through. If it doesn't get there, you can just pick it up and move it. Back knee comes down and up. A few more times here, just kind of inviting the psoas to begin to let go. And then press that knee down to the mat, top of the foot to the mat. Gently tuck that hip forward. That hip is just going to come up and in and finding all the length there. Go ahead and toe heel this front foot out. You can come to hands, but use the blocks if that's better for you. Begin to engage the front leg, pressing through the base of the big toe. The leg pressing into the arm pressing into the leg. That, again, psoas stretch on the right side. Stay here for one more breath. Gently bring the foot back. So that front foot comes back to center. Raise the back knee. Float the hips as that back foot pushes off, comes up halfway. And again, just roll the feet back and forth. Use those blocks if it's better for you. And find your pyramid. So again, feet are about hip width apart still. It's okay if the legs are slightly bent. Engage the abdominals, let the top of the head come down, shake your head out, no, and yes. Find your breath. And that next inhale, push through the foot, back foot comes forward. Find your forward fold, exhaling. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale, come down, pressing through the feet, come all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Check in, again, finding the strength in your mountain pose here. And just noticing, how are the feet connected? How does the body feel? I invite you also to think about yourself standing on this tiny mat in a bigger room. in a bigger house or apartment, in a bigger world. We are small, but we can stand strong and courageous, knowing that our God is big. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, let the hands come down to your side. Inhale, let the arms rise. Exhaling, draw the belly in, forward fold. Hands to shins, rise up halfway. Exhale down. Right leg comes down to the back. Go ahead and pivot to the wide edge of the mat. Feet facing slightly to the outside. Hands in front slightly. Begin to lunge side to side. So again, just warming up a little bit here through the inner thigh and groin, noticing what's going on today. Maybe you add a flex of the foot. 2 more times here. Come back to center, walk the feet in just a little bit. Toes are still turned slightly out. Go ahead and drop the hips so that they're parallel to the floor. Hands to thighs. Rise up high. I invite you to use the glutes to draw the hips back, to draw the knees back over the ankles. Engage so that the shoulders are above the hips. Take the hands behind the legs, and with a glute squeeze, go ahead and contract the glutes and bring the knee back to the hand and release. So 7 more times here. Press back, release, press back. Release. Four more. Can you start it from the center? So because the glutes are engaging, the knees are coming back. 2 more here. 1 more. Release, rise up. Walk the feet in a little bit more. Hands to heart. Come down into your yoga squat. So you can use your hands to support you if you need to. You can also bring a block underneath you if you need to. So wherever you are, adjust the feet and find the yoga squat. Again, notice most of us have a tendency for those knees to really press in and forward, but maybe you can use those glutes and you can really press out so that you are even weighted a little bit at the base of the little toe. Find your breath. 3 more breaths here. You got this. 1 more breath. Let the hands come down. Gently lift the hips. Rise up. Hands to heart. Bring the feet back to mountain. Stay here and find your breath. 2 breaths here. Working on balance and strength. Bring your hands to your hips. Press down through your left foot. Lift your right knee up. Flex the foot. Imagine that you're pressing down on a step. And as you do that, begin to feel the engagement of the glutes on the left side. So again, think about the strength of the stabilizing side. Okay? Now, bring that knee back, behind you, up to center. 2 more times in this direction. Can you keep that stabilizing leg and hip strong? Reverse the direction. Push back with that leg. Out with that knee. Forward. Lead from the hip rather than the knee. Contract. Lift. Come forward. 1 more time. and come down. Deep breath in, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with it. Find your breath. Notice what you notice. Same thing on the other side, hands to hips. You're going to press into that right foot, right? So that left knee's going to rise. Again, you're going to press down as if you were pressing into a step. You're going to really stabilize on the right side here. And then you're going to use this left hip to take that knee back, to push the foot behind you, and to bring the knee forward. Again. One more. Are you still breathing? Reverse the circle. Think about trusting Jesus to help you stay steady throughout the day, throughout the storms, throughout the little stuff. And release. Shake everything out. We're going to do one more exercise here before we finish. So feet are about hip width apart. Stabilize, press through. Take the hands out to the side. From here, draw the belly button in and up. Find that focal point in front of you. Press into the left foot. Lift the right leg out to the side. See if you can do it without moving the body. So there's not a lot of, the leg isn't going crazy high. Turn the toes slightly in just to help you engage through the glutes. Bring that leg down. So let's do that 7 more times. If you want to make it harder, bring your hands in and you'll lose that extra base of support. So the narrower the body is, the harder it is to balance. And release, shake it all out. Notice how that stabilizing leg starts to feel. So we think that all the work's happening in the leg that's lifting and lowering, but there's a whole lot of work going on this other side as well. Again, to find it, arms reach wall to wall, focal point in front of you, belly button in, flex the left foot, lift it out without moving the body, turn the toes slightly inward, really engaging the glutes. Maybe you can bring those hands to center. Two more times. Great job. Shake it out. Deep breath in, bring those hands all the way up. Reach and find your mountain. Exhale, find your forward fold. Here in forward fold, straighten out that right leg, gently bend the left. See if you can find a stretch up and down the side of the straight leg. As you're ready, switch. Meet me at center. Find your forward fold. One more breath here. Hands to shins, come up halfway. Exhaling, come down, one leg back and then the other. Meet me in plank. From plank, drop the knees down. I have one more exercise for us here. Starting in table, knees are hip width apart. Fingers are spread wide so there's not too much weight on the wrists. Cross the ankle of that right leg over the ankle of the left so that the knee is pointing out towards the side. And then just lift straight up from here. 8 times. Connected with breath. The hip muscles are large. And there's a number of them working together here. So each time we change the angle of the lift, we change the way that the muscles engage. 4 more. 2 more. Try to start it from the glutes, not the ankle. 1 more. Bring that knee in. Come back, heels to hips. Find your child, and you can go ahead and give your wrists a release as those fingers turn under and the wrists come up. Meet me again in table. Cross the ankle, bring the knee to the outside. So the left foot is now on top, left ankle on top. And again, from the glutes first, lift and lower. The knee stays pointing out to the side. Shin is kind of parallel to the floor as you lift up. 4 more times. And release. Feet face to the back of the mat, hips come back. Come into your child, go a little bit wider, let the hands come forward, forearms to the mat, head to the mat, massage out the forehead. If it doesn't come to the mat, maybe your child's pose looks differently than mine. That's okay. Find whatever works for you. Support your head. If you don't have blocks, you can use a stack of books. Use all kinds of things. Anything that gives you that height and that support. Three more breaths here. Give the body permission to soften, to relax. Gently press into your hands and rise up. Meet me on your back again. Press into that right foot. Bring that left foot across. Hands behind the back. Find that gentle arch of the back. Knee presses into the spine. Gently lift up. Maybe you hold on to the legs. Maybe you actually don't even need the feet to lift up and you have the stretch here. Wherever you are, rock a little bit side to side just to find the stretch that's right for you. And settle into that stretch, that front knee moving away from the body. Take one more breath here. Let that bottom foot come down to the mat, but keep the shape. Toe heel that bottom foot off the edge of the mat. And let the knees come over in the direction of that top knee. So if my left knee is on top, I'm going to go over to the left. Start to find a stretch in the outside of the hip, maybe the outside of the leg as well, stretching through the IT band all the way down towards that knee. Maybe you look away from the direction that the knees are bent. Engaging the abdominals, gently come back to center. Feet are wide. Bring those knees in together, hands down at your hips. Find your breath. Notice the way the back has settled to the mat, responded to that stretch sequence. Toe heel the feet in, bring that right ankle across the left knee. Gently guide the knee away from the face. Maybe you bring the legs up towards you a little bit more. Wherever you are, rock a little bit side to side. Where is the stretch on this side? Settle in. Find your breath. One more breath here. As you're ready, gently bring that foot down. Keep the shape with the legs, hands out to the side. You're going to toe heel that bottom foot off the edge of the mat. Bring the knee down towards the center. Look away from the legs. Look away from the direction that the knees are facing. And find whatever stretch feels right across the outside of the hip and the outside of the leg. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Can you use that exhale to provide a little bit more release? Engaging the abdominals, gently come back to center. Feet are wide. Let the knees come in together. Hands down at the side, checking in again, noticing the response of the body to that sequence. And then gently bringing the knees towards you, bringing the knees into the rib cage and away. So we're just restoring a more neutral spine here, restoring a more natural arch to the lower back. One more time. Bring the feet out long. Windshield wiper the feet, bounce the knees, wiggle the hips. Find your breath. Reach the hands up to the sky, let the shoulders thump. Do that one more time. The hands come down to the mat. And maybe you turn the head from the top of one ear up and over to the top of the other. I invite you as you settle here to consider that Scripture tells us we are held in the palm of God's hand. Feeling the security that comes from that. Cradled in His love. Gently begin to wiggle fingers and toes, rotate wrists and ankles. Maybe turn your head side to side. Taking a deep breath in, bring arms up and overhead, stretching as long as you can. Fingers to one wall, toes to the other. And bend your knees. Roll over onto your side. Find your breath. Gently pressing into your hands, rise up to sitting. Find your sitting bones, sit comfortably with those legs crossed in front of you. This might be the first time you've been here today. Just checking in, body, mind, and soul, noticing what has changed since you came to the mat today. Noticing also what has stayed the same. Taking a deep breath in, let arms rise up and overhead, palms together, and exhale, hands to heart. Joining me in prayer. Mighty God, thank you. Thank you for your promise that you will never leave us, that you are always with us until the end of the age. Thank you for your story, for the stories of your people, all the times that you showed up, that you were faithful in the big and the small. Thank you for this reminder that we do not need to control everything going on around us. We simply need to trust you. And so we come before you humbly, trusting in your goodness, your mercy, your faithfulness. And it is in your name, Jesus, that we pray. Amen. Thank you for practicing with me.